Let's talk about the top 10 things you need to check to make sure your home is compliant with FHA guidelines. Why is that important? A lot of buyers right now are opting to go with FHA because the rates are about a 0.5% better than conventional 30-year mortgages. So you want to make sure that your home is FHA compliant so that you don't run into issues when the buyer goes to finance their deal. The first thing you need to think about is your roof and your attic. Ensure that your roof is in good working order and that it's not going to need to be replaced in about 2 to 3 years. This is a major point of inspection for FHA appraisers. You also need to make sure that your attic space is accessible when the appraiser comes. They're going to get up there and they're going to check for signs of leaks, water damage, things like that. So get up in the attic, take a peek for yourself, see what you got going on up there. The second thing are your electrical and your heating systems. Now, you would think that would be an obvious, but there's a lot of people who have overloaded breakers. They have too many wires going into a breaker for what its capacity is. So you want to make sure that your breaker box is safe, functional, and adequate for the size of your home. Same thing with your HVAC system. You want to make sure that it's operating at capacity. So you may want to come in and have it serviced before you put your home on the market. Third thing we're going to talk about is plumbing. You want to make sure you don't have any leaks. You want to make sure you have adequate water pressure. FHA requires that all utilities be on and are fully functional at the time the appraiser comes in. They actually have to turn sinks on and take pictures of the water running out of the faucet. So yes, that is something the FHA appraiser will check. Fourth, we're going to talk about your windows and your doors. They should open and close properly. You shouldn't have any broken panes or cracked panes, decayed frames, things like that. So if you have wooden frames, check those especially. Safety and functionality are again the big key for FHA when they're looking at your windows and your doors. Number 5 is look out for hazardous materials. And you may think, well, I'm pretty sure I don't have any hazardous materials in my house. If your home was built before 1978, there is a possibility that you have lead-based paint. You may also have asbestos in your house. So these can be deal breakers for FHA. What they're looking at is on the outside of your house, if you have peeling paint, chip paint, things like that, you're going to need to strip that and then repaint it. That's how they're assuming you're going to take care of lead-based paint issues, but they're looking at things that have chip paint or where the paint's bubbling up. Usually that's going to be on the outside of your house. The next thing is property access. You want to make sure your home is easily accessible. So that means a safe and all-weather driveway or access point. You can't be landlocked, and if you have a gravel driveway, it can't be rutted out from the rain to where you're going to need a four-wheel drive to get up the driveway. They're also going to look at the structural integrity of your home. So no signs of foundation damage, any significant cracks in the walls, and things like that. I understand that could be an expensive fix. So if you know that you have that and you also know that it's not in your budget to fix something like that, then you're going to need to address it in price, and you're also going to need to say that your home will not go any kind of government loan if you know that you're not going to be able to take care of that. You need to look for signs of pest. FHA, VA, any of the government loans are going to require a pest inspection. They're looking for evidence of termites and termite damage. So you may want to go ahead and get a termite letter done before you list your house. If you're on a well, FHA is going to require a water quality test. They want to make sure that you don't have E. coli or coliforms growing inside the well that's coming through your pipes into the house. So they're going to draw a sample of your water. They're going to send it in to the health department or whatever laboratory. They're going to have it tested. If you live in your house, more than likely you're going to be fine because you're using that water. It's cleaning the pipes out all the time. If a house is vacant, that's when you usually see the water quality test fail. So sometimes we have to shock a well, which means pouring bleach down inside the wellhead to kill all that bacteria before we get the water quality sample drawn. The last thing we're going to talk about is your overall property condition. It needs to be safe, it needs to be sanitary, and it needs to be suitable for living. if you're selling a house that's been occupied by tenants and they had animals that maybe didn't make it outside quite as often as they needed to, you want to make sure that you clean all that kind of stuff up. You want the house looking good, smelling good, showing well, and then the FHA appraiser's not going to know about the presence of animals in the house previously. So make sure it's safe, sanitary, and suitable for living. Making your home FHA compliant is going to help your home sell faster and probably for more money as well. Like I said, with interest rates right now on FHA loans being about 0.5% cheaper than a 30-year conventional mortgage, we're seeing more and more buyers going FHA. Make sure your home is compliant. It'll help you out in the long run.